Hello, Dr. Timothy Elizondo here, and I just want to create and present you a video that I am making as it relates to how to write an outline in an Elizondo class. Yep, because if you're watching this video, you're taking a class in which you have to construct an outline, so you might have a few questions. So what I wanted to do is I just want to take you through a PowerPoint presentation that I constructed. And we'll just kind of talk about this for, I don't know, less than 15 minutes. How's that? All right. So what is a preparation outline? So a preparation outline it's a written and edited document that is crafted over an extended amount of time, right? So I've got this paper due in X amount of weeks. It's going to have a prompt associated with it. So an outline is this giant document that's actually going to contain my thoughts, my ideas, my research that I can present to somebody else and go, here, what do you think? And then they give me the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. They make feedback. I then go back, I can correct the outline, and then turn it into an exam paper when prompted. All right, so it's a detailed full sentence outline which specifies all critical elements of the material needed to support the thesis. And it's going to include your thesis, your main points, your subpoints, your citations, and the necessary analysis to assist in the transition between ideas. In other words, it needs to contain the thesis, big idea of what the paper's about, your main points, right? The main points have subpoints to them. Those subpoints oftentimes contain claims, evidence, and analysis. And so that when you hand it to somebody else, they can look at it and understand what you're citing and also what you're extracting from your citations. Why do you need to write an outline? Because a preparation outline is a precursor to your written exam paper. And as the name suggests, a preparation outline helps you prepare for your paper. These exam papers require significant research, and they usually require organization and preparation in the form of an outline. Look, it's really, really difficult to write a paper on the fly in like 2 days, right? And sometimes students do that. They'll wait until the last minute and then kind of construct a paper. Hey, I'm guilty of it as well. I used to do that very early in my college career. And let me tell you, it worked like a charm. And I was a great constructor of 3-page essays, 24 hours or less. And some, okay, my spelling wasn't always great, and yes, there were grammatical errors, but hey, I was a solid B-pluser. It worked like a charm until it didn't. And once it didn't work, I failed assignments, I got C's, and it was then that I realized that I needed to up my game. And so really my approach in the class is let's use this particular way of kind of engaging in a class in order to develop skills that up our game. Back to the PowerPoint. All right, so how do you organize an outline? So you're going to list the major points that support your thesis and label them in Roman numerals, right? So in the videos that I'm making, you'll be seeing that I'm going to have a thesis, and then I have 3 particular main points that I'm working from. And then I list supporting ideas or arguments for each major point. So you're going to see in the outline that I kind of group things. And then if applicable, continue to subdivide each supporting idea until your outline is fully developed. Like a jigsaw puzzle, right? You kind of work in the corner. Maybe you sort all the red things that look like flowers, and then you start kind of piecing them together. And that's your red flower section. And ultimately, the red flower section is a smaller component of this larger mosaic, which in this analogy would be your thesis. So think of it as a detailed blueprint of your full idea. Your outline is a blueprint, while your points and your subpoints serve as the scaffolding and building blocks of your creation. Okay, so your thesis and all of it, that's like your giant house. And then all the different parts of it here are like kind of the structure of the house. We use Roman numerals for main points. They're used to identify the biggest and most important ideas. They're used to identify the major points of the paper's composition, and they are the main ideas that will be developed within the paper in an effort to support, explain, describe, and or justify the language of the thesis. All right, so we're going to have Roman numerals, and then we use letters as signposts. So I would have a Roman numeral 1, and then underneath that, I would have an A subpoint. So like in a speech outline, I don't know, if my thesis was something to the extent of There are several superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that are central to the larger narrative. Right. So in other words, hey, there's some superheroes that are super important in all these movies. All right, so that's my thesis. And then my first main point is going to be a sentence that says, Iron Man, or I should say Tony Stark, is an integral figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, so that's my Roman numeral. And then the first A subpoint would be Tony Stark's story begins in Iron Man 1. Because I think that's where it starts. Right, so the subpoints are going to be complete and dynamic sentences that serve as supporting reasons for the idea expressed in language of the main point it resides in. Right, so my main point was Iron Man's super important. That makes sense that my first subpoint would be the beginning of Iron Man starts in Iron Man 1. Right, or the introduction of Iron Man into the MCU. Then we use numbers to identify subpoints, right, because we might have subpoints. Right, so my Iron Man example, right, my subpoints might be Tony Stark starts out in the cave, right? He develops a technology in a cave. Then he saves the world from, who does he fight? Who does he fight in the first one? I don't know, like old man Iron Man. So this is where the specific examples of the research will be included. You can use quotes, examples, stories, and just make sure that you cite in an outline. Can you see an example? Of course you can. And here's a video to assist you with. I'll be putting this PowerPoint online, so you'll be able to watch this video as well. Oh. That's not embedded here quite yet. So here's an example. Dogs are preferable to cats. And then if you notice, I'm using Roman numerals as the big sentences. So my thesis has two reasons: that they promote a more active lifestyle and that they're able to serve human needs in a way cats are unable to. And then if you notice, underneath each point, I've got other sentences to support the points above them. And then I'm also using subpoints to indicate where my evidence is coming from. Good. And then the AAC and the Writing Center is near you. Feel free, you can ask me any questions. You can email me in Canvas. You can set up an appointment during office hours. You can also ask students in the Q&A cafe. But yeah, and then I would also encourage you to just like look up resources about how to outline. Yeah, because the internet is really, yeah, it just has like really kind of like different videos, different approaches. Yeah, and I really, I mean, you might be saying, well, Tim, show me one. And I don't know, I kind of feel like that's kind of your level of exploration. I would point out that the system I use is one that is a Roman numeral, number capital letter system, right? Yeah, because I've just found that to be the most common, and it's also the one that Microsoft Word will automatically pick up if you enter into a Microsoft document. Okay. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I hope that's helpful, and I look forward to seeing your outlines down the future. All right, bye guys.